Okay, we're going to talk about intake forms and how important it is for you to write everything down of concern. You want to do this before you start any health journey, go to the doctor, try new supplements, lose weight. You need to have a baseline to see where you're starting. And when we get nervous when we go to a doctor's office and we feel rushed, and you're going to forget some things. You can't remember everything going on with your body. So this is the time to do it when you're sitting home or throughout the day, even throughout the week. You just start saying, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that," or "I do have that going on," because the body works as a system. So if you forget things because you don't want to quote complain, it doesn't give a full scope, a full picture of what's going on with you. So it makes it difficult to solve the problem sometimes. So this is a form that I created. It's called the intake form made for you because it's made for you, it's made for me, it's made for the patient who wants to find strength in their health, and it's something to do at home. And so we have 3 forms, and I'm going to just walk you through them briefly so you can get an understanding of how to put detailed information in there. So let's get rid of this first page. And then we have, maybe you've seen a page like this before. This is called like a review of systems, where you go through each organ system, each kind of part of your body, and write details. But when you're in a doctor's office, you don't really hold on to this paper. You kind of click here and there, but this is a good time for you to kind of really just write whatever you want to on here and share what you want to with your doctor. If there's private information you don't want to share, don't share it. Bring it on a separate sheet of paper. You don't have to bring this paper in. So let's talk about how I love the person that you can just draw on. And so let's take a look. So let's say we're going to go into the doctor, and you know what? You're like, I don't need to write this down because I'm just going for lower back pain. Okay, so where is your lower back pain? Is it in the lower back? Oh, you know what? I'm starting to think about it. It's here in my gluteus, on the top of my gluteus. And it's actually to the outside more on the gluteus. And sometimes it radiates down. How far does it radiate down? Down to the ankle right here. And so that's important to know that you have like pretty much gluteus lateral on the outside pain that radiates down sometimes, because that's kind of an easier thing than, oh, my back hurts, well, where does it hurt? And because sometimes, especially when we're nervous, we're like, I don't know, it just kind of hurts back there. Does it hurt in the spine? Is that inflamed? Or are the muscles around the spine, acting up? Are they bound up? And from habit, sometimes we get our muscles bound up, and some stretches and a trained professional can easily, that's what I just described for you there, is a sciatic pain that happens so much, and people think it's a miracle when that pain goes away because it can be so painful. But usually it's just a couple of muscles bound up, so they're not getting oxygen, and they're tight, and they hurt to touch, and they just push on a nerve, which causes so much pain. And then let's take a look. So if that, you don't go, I don't want to complain, I'm just going there for lower back. But if you have upper back pain here in the shoulder, you're probably compensating. You're doing something with your right side. With your left, arm, pulling outward from the body, and it's straining on the lower back on the right side. So there's reasons. So if you don't want to complain, but you need to write it down, because that's how you can solve it and not go through so many different tests and waste time and money. And then let's say you have pain right here in the mid back. I find that this is from, people say it's worse when they're doing dishes. So when your arms are stretched out doing dishes, it's going to strain in that mid back right there. And if you can really hold this lower ab in right there, you'll get that pain to go away. And it really, your abdominal muscles are the easiest and the strongest, and they want to do the work, but we put it in our back a lot. So that's something to focus on if you have those kind of pains back there. Okay, so let's see, so I wanted to give a quick thought on, here you have depression, right? So if you say, yes, I have depression. If you say you have it, you own it. You now have it. What I would suggest you do is say, I am working through depression. And you could say due to or because of a divorce, because of a death in the family. Those are sad things. And, your children leave the home, and now who are you anymore? Those are things that can cause depression. But if you write it that you're going to get through it, you have a goal. You have a goal to get through depression. by working on, okay, so what do I do now that my children have left the home? What do I do for myself? Or how do I grieve properly and get through that grief so I can be happy again? Give yourself that goal when you write something down like depression, because you don't want to own it. And if you say, I'm just depressed, and don't give yourself any way to feel successful with that, you do get on medications, and then the medications just block the pain, and your body finds a way to get through those medications. Your body does not want to be blocked, and so it's going to find a way with medications to get out of it. And that's usually why dosages go up or they change medications, because they just don't work anymore. When you wake up in the night, same thing. What time do you wake up in the night? And a lot of people, they tell me that they wake up in the night because they have to go to the bathroom. Well, I have to follow up with that. Do you really have to go to the bathroom, or do you say, I'm already up, I might as well go use the restroom? And then you train yourself to wake up each night and go to the bathroom. So even if you can push that back a half hour, an hour, and just say, you know what, tell yourself I don't have to go, and relax those muscles that are causing this urgency. And maybe that's all it is. There could be medications and things, but try the simplest ways first when you have a symptom. And then we have, let's see, let's keep looking through here. So, let's see, I just scribbled through it, but it says night sweats right here. So you might come into the office and you tell the doctor that you sweat all night long. Okay, well, if you sweat all night long, that's horrible, and I'm sorry that you have that, but why don't you take a night and really look if it's all night long, because a lot of times it's going to be like this. You're going to wake up at 2 a.m., and it's going to be some really bad sweats, and you could say, you could write profuse if you want to, or you could say, like, you soaked the bed, right? It just soaked. It just was awful. Your clothes were soaking wet, you had to change. And then maybe you wake up at 4 a.m., not as bad, so less. You could put less maybe. And then maybe at 6 a.m., you just had some flush. Okay? And maybe you couldn't go back to sleep. Those things are so important, that detail. It's so important. And that way too, if you're taking something now to nourish your hormones that are causing this, your thermostat is out of whack. If you're taking, you're trying something to solve it, you have a detailed thing of where you were before. You soaked the bed at 2 a.m. It was horrible. It was so embarrassing maybe, and things. And then there was less at 4 a.m. and then at 6 a.m. just a heat flush, and I had to throw the sheets off. Man, that's so important. So really those details for yourself to solve the problem would be great. Do that with each concern that you have. Like digestion, that's kind of like acid reflux. If you're watching a movie and eating, you're going to build up acid. A lot of people, we have our meals like kind of on the go and on the rush or in the car. As long as you can relax when you're eating and let that breathe, and always give a moment to give thanks to being in the moment of having this meal and for the animals that you are eating and for their life and things, your body, you'll go into that parasympathetic, that rest and digest, and it's just important for your well-being. And so like, don't watch a scary movie that has like what is called jump scares, I think my son calls them, because that's just going to give that adrenaline rush, and that's going to build up more acid in your digestion and your stomach. Okay, so respiratory. So people, I'll ask them just to take a deep breath in for me, and it's like, 4 or 5 seconds. And I go, do you feel that's enough air going in? And they're like, yeah, that's fine. And I'm like, it's not. 5 seconds is not enough. And it looks labored when they're doing it. But, breathing is, I know they kind of talk about, do meditation or do something to strengthen it, but they really don't hit home how important it is. In 4 minutes, you're brain dead if you don't have oxygen. So how much... We have 2 big, lungs that it takes up so much of our body. It's so important to get enough oxygen in there. We have a diaphragm going downward and more oxygen able to come in. If we're not getting enough oxygen, we're only going to get to the survival organs, that fight or flight, that we're a gazelle and there's a lion coming after us. We're just going to get enough oxygen for that. And in long term, we'll have like pain in our muscles, pain in our joints, because we're not getting enough oxygen. Your muscles will hurt to touch. So working on that, there's reasons why we got that way with breathing and we're sighing, or maybe we had pain and sadness, but we're going to build that back up in a nice way, kind of in, first of all, dancing is a great way because you're laughing, maybe you're singing along with a song, you're going to get some oxygen in. But even if you could just, like, an easy way is to sing. You pick a song that you like and you sing, like maybe you only can sing 3 words of it, and then you have to take a breath in. So push that to 5 words, even if you have to force it. You want to force that diaphragm down to open up, expand those lungs, because when our lungs are deficient, we're going to be more susceptible for viruses, bacterias, so really focus on 5 words, maybe 7 words. If you could do like a whole phrase of a song would be great. And just, you're going to have so much more energy when you start bringing more oxygen into your body. And so when you write this down, write that. Be honest with yourself how many seconds it is, and then say if it was labored, or if you want more, or if you get tired easy, you're not getting enough oxygen in. Okay, so headaches is one that you want to maybe write up here on the chart, because everywhere on the head there's headaches for different reasons. And it, like one here, like let's say you get a headache behind the eyes, and then maybe you have some upper back pain. Occipital pain at the back of the head, it works with the eyes. So that would go hand in hand. If you say, yeah, I get it behind my eyes and I get it, in the back of my head, the lower portion, the occipital area, then the doctor can say, oh, okay, you need to do some stretches. Your upper back's probably tight. Let's resolve that. But if you just say headaches, they're going to send you in for all kinds of tests that cost so much money. And it's just a waste of time and a waste of money. You have sinus pain, that would be like right in this area, sinus aches. I've just destroyed my chart here, but you have temporal pain from maybe anxiety. Maybe you get it at the end of the day, just too much stress, too much anxiety would be like up in here area. And then write it to the side, just say at the time of day you get it. That's important. Okay, so, and maybe how long it lasts, what relieves it, the pain. Maybe, you wake up in the morning, you're fine by the end of the day. Maybe you hold your shoulders tight. Look how you hold your shoulders. If you hold your shoulders up, if you put a bag over a shoulder and you keep one side up, you're going to get pain up in that neck, because those are where those tendons are holding those muscles, are right up in that neck there, and that's going to cause headaches. All right, so next page. We have, okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, so we talked a little bit about musculoskeletal, but you want to really write out what you do when you're sitting. Look at the different dynamics, but like if you hold your shoulders forward, you hold your shoulders up. Write as much as you can think of what might be causing the pain, because remember, this is your goal sheet starting. You're writing everything down that's causing you a problem. And so, do you have stiffness? What time of day do you have that? Do you wake up and you feel good, and then when you sit for a while, your joints get stiff? Do you have pain when you're doing activity? Those things are important to write down. For neurological, we're all distracted easily. We're bombarded with, we have to answer our cell phone. As soon as someone calls, we have work nonstop. We have children that need us all the time. We're distracted. And being my new mantra, well, not new, but when I started the mantra of being in the moment. So I tell myself, when I'm talking to somebody and I have 20 other things I need to be doing, I just breathe while I'm still smiling in their eyes, and I just say to myself, I say, be in the moment here, be thankful for being in the moment here. And the distraction goes away. If I'm playing tennis or doing something and I'm like, oh, I got to go to work after I'm done with this tennis match or something, then I just stop and I go, be in this moment here with the friends that I'm here, and just be in the moment. It helps so much from being distracted. Just come up with your own mantra there. And one thing too, I was going to say, I'm not sure, there we go, on sleep. Let me talk about that for a second, because many people tell me that they sleep fine, right? So do you sleep fine? And maybe keep it for yourself. You don't have to share this with anyone. But do you feel rested when you wake up? Do you have that energy, or do you need that coffee to wake up? And do you fall asleep easy? And people are like, oh yeah, I fall asleep fine. Well, do you have the TV on? Do you have let's see. 1 second. Okay. Oh, nice. Do you have the TV on it to fall asleep? And then do you, the TV, or do you take a medication to fall asleep? Write that down. And then you can look at the dose you take of that medication. And some people with the TV, they go, well, I only put in for 20 minutes. But your brain, the reason why is your brain is still thinking and it wants to think, and TV is a distraction to the brain. So if you come up with a mantra also, like, I'm going to think about this tomorrow, it's going to be okay, or picture yourself in Tibet in the mountains or at the ocean, breathing, relaxing. Sometimes it's scary to just be quiet with our brain. So it's important though, because these things don't solve, and our brain wants to purge it and solve it. So that's important about sleep. And sleep and pain go hand in hand. The more sleep you get, the less pain you have, and that's a great thing to understand and really focus on that sleep. And so activities, write whatever you're doing, and write what you want to start doing again. And then your diet, you've got to be honest with yourself, because it's you don't have to be apologetic. You crave things, you want to do things, and you just write that stuff down, what you want, what you like. If you don't, and you just do what a diet tells you to do, you're never going to feel good, because you're going to go back to the things that you love to do. And a lot of times it comes down to gut bacteria, and you just focus on some fermented foods and some food enzymes, and that could help easily get your diet in check. And so with the hormones, we talked a little bit about that with sleep and sweats. You can solve those hormones that go out of whack. A lot of times, if you're having a lot of like anxieties and your adrenal glands are overusing, you're not going to be able to get to the other hormones, your testosterone, your progesterone, your estrogen. It doesn't have time for that. And there's some other things, whether overacting, you can go on the environmentalworkinggroup.org, and they have all these neurotoxins in their foods, like hormone disruptors in your foods, in your healthcare, your skincare. So look at those and eliminate those. And I bet your hormones will probably go right back in check, like right away. So let's go to the next. Let's go to the next intake part of the form. So your current medications, it's important that you know why you're taking it. If you don't know why you're taking it, you need to ask your doctor why you're taking it. You also need to ask him when you can get off of it. And then you want to write any side effects that you notice. And sometimes when we're on a long-term medication, we're not sure what the side effects were, because it's been like now thrown into how we feel as a whole. But when you get on a medication, write down right away what the side effects were, the difference in it. And definitely talk to them how you can wean off, get off, because there's reasons while you're on it. There's reasons you can probably get off of them. And maybe just change a certain thing, like we talked about the hormone disruptors for one, just even eliminating that and getting your gut with the fermented foods. So let's see. Okay, last sheet. Last form is your vitamin supplements. And that's important, because why are you taking any of them? Do you even notice a difference? And if you don't notice a difference, don't take them, and then take them when you have a reason to take them, because vitamins, they work, it's chemistry, they work with a complement to each other. So if you're overtaking a mass dose of something, especially like a fat soluble vitamin, you're going to like upset a balance in your body. Unless you're a chemist, then don't take a vitamin, and they're fortified. And I'm not really sure, I mean, there's science, you can research all the science of how it'll work, but there's some inexpensive fortified vitamins that can cause more damage to your body than good. So I mean, like, just grab a handful of spinach for your vitamins for the day. Just do it. Don't make it into a salad. Don't make it in any production. Just throw it in your mouth, and you're set for the day there. So that's important to know why you're taking it and what you're doing. And then one more form, and this is your goal sheet. This is important because it's what's important to you. And if you just go, yeah, I need to do this one day. Yeah, I need to see what's going on with my back. I need to see what's going on with my sleep. I need to get my hormones fixed. You just wrote down all this detail. Now put it on your goals. Like my goal 1 is to sleep through the night without sweating. Okay, then we learn to solve that. Then we search for those answers, and based on where we are in our body. And like goal 2, it could be lower back pain. You want to be able to play a certain sport again, or you want to not have that pain where you're using a walker. That's really important. So write all these goals down. Obviously, you can do a lot of this for yourself. You can learn a lot about health just by discovering all these things going on, but then take this to a professional who can analyze this and help you with this, someone you trust. And if somebody, you get a second opinion if you feel like you're still staying in the same, like, not solving problems, because your body wants to heal, it wants to feel better, and it wants to get there. So if you have a doctor or someone that says, no, you've got to be on this medication forever, or it's just what you do when you're this age, go to another opinion about that. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me.